All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Back here at Gaming Compute. Today I'm doing a tidbits on NFTs. So NFTs have become a very, very popular form of, for some people, investments, for some people, artwork, for some people, income stream, for some people, a form of currency, as in trading for something. So what NFT stands for is non-fungible token. And so that might sound like, up until recently, I don't think people usually would use the word fungible. In all honesty, I'd never really heard of the term fungible before. But what fungible means is that something exchanges at the same rate for something similar. So, for example, let me just use an example. This is like an ancient example. I drive an old car. I drive a Mitsubishi Eclipse. And at one point in time, these cars were new, right? So let's pretend like Mitsubishi made a new Eclipse, which they stopped making them, but let's pretend like they made a brand new one that's supposed to come out in 2023. That means near summer of 2022, they would be available, right? So if I were to go to a Mitsubishi dealership in June of 2022 and purchased a Mitsubishi Eclipse year 2023, so purchase it right before it's even really at its release date, purchase the car, pay for the car, and then if my neighbor goes and buys the same exact car, my neighbor Bob goes and buys the same exact car from the same exact car lot with the same exact rate from the same exact dealer, same exact color, everything. I don't know if they would have like a GTS or whatever, same engine, V6, whatever, same everything, right? And neither one of us even drove the car off the lot or even opened the door. All they did was, okay, payment. We both signed all of our paperwork. They gave each of us, myself and Bob, our own key to our car. If we were to, at that point, decide for some odd reason, I want your car, Bob, and Bob is like, oh yeah, I want your car too. Even though they're the same dang car, maybe like mine was parked in the shade and his was parked in the sun, and he wanted one that was a little cooler inside, temperature wise, and I wanted one that had been heated up by the sun or some random thing that nobody would really care for. If we were to trade at that time, it would be something that you would consider fungible. My car is equal worth to Bob's car at that point. Now, we all know with cars, there's all these variables. If you drive it off the lot, the mileage, the wear and tear in the car, everything. But we're just using this as an example for something that's equal, right? Our cars would be exactly equal to one another at that point. And say even like a nickel, right? Not counting like collectors years or different kind of like different collector points of view. If you buy something that is collectible, that's different. But say if I just get a classic nickel and Bob gets a classic nickel, if I give him my nickel and he gives me his nickel, that's an equal trade. It's nickel for a nickel. We each get 5 cents. His 5 cents isn't worth more than my 5 cents unless there's some, variation, some kind of reason for it to be worth more. So if that makes sense, something that's fungible is is an item that you can exchange for a different item that is exactly the same worth, even though it's not the same exact thing. My car and Bob's car are still different cars. We'd both get different license plates. We both would have different, I don't know, numbers and all these different kind of like serial numbers and things associated with it, right? Same with the nickel. Like, it has like identifying details on it where it's like, this nickel isn't that actual nickel. You know, it has like different features that would be a little different, but it's still worth the same. Non-fungible tokens means that, you know, this picture, this pixelated picture, or this artwork, or this digital item, ticket, or whatever it is, this digital item is not worth the same. There's one in existence, even if you sell it or trade it or whatever, the value varies. So even the item itself varies. So I hope that's helpful in explaining what NFTs are in general. Mostly they are digital. You usually see it as like artwork. That's a popular one. People make artwork collections and sell them. So one of the tidbit tips, and again, this isn't financial advice or anything, but one of the tidbit type of tips that you'd want to pay attention to if you're interested in NFTs, if you're interested in making them, you'd want to have an audience to sell them to. If you don't have an audience for your launch date, unless somebody just comes across it and likes it and buys it, that's something to pay attention to. The audience you're selling to, the marketing you put into it, the price of gas, measured in gwei, the different things like that. You want to take those into consideration, because gas can be $30, $40, $50, $150, $200 for an NFT that you might be selling that you made for $5. The price may vary throughout the day. We'll get more into that in other episodes, but this is just a basic, bare bones explanation for this Tidbits episode. And I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for listening.